Hi, my name's Yvette Taylor and I enable people who are truly ready to change their life by shifting what's going on in their energy. Now, along the way, I do tend to run into quite a few people who are, quite rightly, skeptical. I get asked this question all the time, but where's the science in it? Where's the science behind all of this? And I think it's actually a really brilliant question. Now, here's the thing. The first question for me is really, what is science? When you're asking that question, what do you really mean? Because the Newtonian laws that we're often taught in school, the physics that you remember learning at school, is all about the world we see on the macrocosm, on the big scale, the things that you would classify as the real world. Now, the thing is, the real world physics doesn't actually apply to everything. It doesn't apply to things that happen on a microscopic scale. Now, to look at things on the microcosm, we have to go over to quantum physics. Quantum physics deals with things in the microcosm. It talks about things that are happening on such a tiny scale that we can't even see or really comprehend them. Yet quantum physics is running so much of our lives already. New technologies are often based on quantum physics and the way that things happen on a microcosmic level. Now, here's the thing. Both of them are sciences. Both of them are valid in their relevant fields of study. Both of them apply to our everyday lives. Yet the rules, the theories, the understanding that sits behind each of those sciences is completely contradictory when you're applying the rules and the theories of one to the other field of science. So despite the numerous claims out there, no one yet has the full picture. Our known universe, which we are always exploring and expanding, is actually made up of some things so ginormous that we can't even comprehend, and other things which are so tiny we can't even imagine. Yet no one science has an explanation which covers it all. So whether you're talking about the universe or galaxies or solar systems or our planet or our physical bodies or the cells that make up our body or the protons and electrons that make up who we are, there is one thing that ties them all together. One thing that ties all of those things on a microcosmic level to a macrocosmic level together. And the one consistent thing in all of it is energy. Energy is the one true constant thing that applies. So I believe there are a few things that all sciences can agree on. That everything is energy. That there is more to this universe than we already know. That there are still questions to be answered about this universe to really understand what is going on. There are still answers that need to be found about who we are and why we're here and how we work. And as yet, there is still not one explanation for all consciousness and all matter in the known universe. Because if we had that answer, I kind of think that most of the sciences would disappear. That's exactly the journey that they're all still on, trying to find and explore. So here's my point, just to be open. I'm inviting you to be open to the possibilities, because there are still studies which are forever discovering new things, new ways of exploring the world, new ways of extending our knowledge, new ways of expanding who we are and understanding more about the way that the world works. So don't go looking for one answer. Go looking for all of the answers and find an answer that truly works for you. Now, I remember a client who came to me. He was a doctor and he was really skeptical about all of this stuff because his whole life had kind of been based on research and data and studies, but his background was actually brought up with very Eastern philosophy. So there was still this spiritual grounding to his understanding. So he was really intrigued by what I was sharing. Now, I remember showing him how to use your body to get really clear answers about what's actually happening in your energy. It's a method known as the sway from kinesiology, where you can actually ask your body very simple yes or no answer questions and get some really helpful insights. Now, let's face it, I completely understand why he would have been skeptical. If someone said to me 10 years ago, just stand there, say a few words out loud, your body's going to sway backwards and forwards, and then and all of a sudden all of those things that you've been thinking and feeling are going to disappear just like that, of course you're going to be skeptical. But he gave it a go. And I remember the look on his face when this pain that he'd had, this emotional pain that he'd been carrying for so long, that was stuck inside his heart, it just felt like a big giant rock. Everything he'd tried before, his medication, the treatments he'd tried before that he knew were available, had never really shifted it, had never really changed it. And in minutes, we let go of this pain that he'd been holding on to for at least the last 15 years of his life. Now, you see, the thing that I love is that he was actually a massive skeptic, and even he still felt the shift. You don't have to believe in this methodology for it to work. Yes, it helps if you're open, but it's not about the self-belief. It's actually about the process itself that shifts what's going on in your energy, whether you believe in this or not. Now, he ended up just letting go of all of that stuff, feeling so much lighter in himself, feeling better. He's actually still using the 5 steps himself, and secretly, telling his patients about it in clinic too. So even though you may not have the full picture, and whilst it may not make complete sense to the logic, I want you to trust that there is so much more to you than you see with your naked eye. There is so much more to your life than what you see around you right now. The possibilities for you are limitless. All you have to do is learn to shift and change your energy. You have the power to shift and change your energy. You have the power to change what you think and how you feel. So here's what I want you to do today. I want you to write down 3 times in your life when you've exceeded your own expectations, when you've stepped outside what you already knew and allowed yourself to explore something new and something more. What did you feel? What did you end up thinking? What did you discover that was beyond what you already knew? And how did it help you take the next step forward in your life? I would absolutely love to know what those things were for you. So please feel free to comment underneath this video. And if you think this has been useful, feel free to share on social media or even tag some of your friends. I've really loved making this video for you, and I really look forward to sharing more in some of our other videos. So keep an eye out because there is so much more to come.